What's going on, everyone? My name is B Wise, and I'm an artist from Sydney, and you're now watching the AU Review.
Welcome to Big Sound.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How did last night treat you?
Last night was cool.
Yeah.
I think the treatment was nice considering the crowd was there.
Yeah.
Like, it started off a little slow, but we eventually built it up. It was a good vibe. At the end, it was a cool, intimate crowd, and I enjoyed it. And I haven't played for a couple of months, so it was good to sort of test some of the new music there.
Yeah.
So I was enjoyed it, seeing how it affected certain people. So it was cool.
Definitely. How did it feel to, like you say, get back out on stage after a few months of...
I was a bit nervous, to be honest,
Yeah.
and I've kind of put a lot of pressure. I always put a bit of pressure on myself when I perform live.
Yeah.
I kind of set a high standard for myself, and so it was a bit nerve-wracking, to be honest. But maybe after the first song, then I kind of
Eased into it.
eased into it and got past it. I'm like, okay, this is familiar territory.
Yeah.
Especially we're trying to do a bit of a new set to what we've been doing for the past couple of months, so that's always something to adjust to as well.
Yeah, cool. And I mean, obviously I feel like 2016 for you has just been a year that has kept on kind of snowballing in terms of the amount of good things that have been happening with your new music. Obviously with semi-pro kind of building up now, how are you feeling about that record as being, I suppose, essentially an introduction to a lot of people?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm very excited that it feels like the timing is just right.
Yeah.
The concept, the idea of semi-pro in general was something that followed up and came to me like while I was on a train, you know what I mean? And it builds off, a sort of reputation that I had off a mixtape end, which was, would come up as the benchman, and so this is like the next stage to that career, and now being able to, put that out, this is like my first proper release. I feel good about it, and I feel excited that people start to maybe get to know a bit more about me through the music that's on there.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-track EP, and but it's a good variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we've heard so far, your music is very it's very eclectic, and it shows a lot of different musical elements that you obviously bring to your craft, which is something I think is so essential to new music today. Like, I feel like it's you just can't rest on your laurels. At all, because everything's being absorbed so quickly, and it's changing so quickly. So it's been really cool to see how you've been able to develop, not only on the live front, but also as a recording artist as well. Like, what, I suppose with this EP, what did you enjoy most about maybe getting to flesh out those sorts of influences that you now have the platform to do?
You mean so the influences on the...
And I suppose, just as a music fan, I mean, how's it been able to kind of explore those different territories?
I think when it comes to the influences, I was listening to a lot of music, like sort of people's first records that they would put out. So maybe I'm a fan of, say, Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole or anything. My music quite varies from those types of artists, even like going back to like a Snoop Dogg, like Doggy Style and all that. What I kind of did is like, well, what did artists who were in my position back, when they came out with their first releases, what were they trying to say, what were they trying to do? And then it kind of gave me a framework to say, give a bit more of yourself, like start to introduce who you are, because leading up to the EP, I would kind of just put out singles on their own, which would just to sort of say, hey, I'm this, this is who I am, and let's have some fun and whatnot. But this is a cool song like to have fun to. But now I think the influence that I applied to the EP was just to sort of introduce who I am a bit more, but also at the same time to still have those elements like where it can be fun, or it can the other side with no questions, like it can be reflective and things like that. And the producer on the EP, Dopamine, he produced the whole EP beats as well, so he was able to see, see what I would have as an idea, or hear what I would have as an idea. Okay, maybe let's go this way or that way. So
I mean, working with a producer like Dopamine, I mean, he's got he's so talented. But when you sit down with somebody and you can look at that person and just see how much knowledge they have about
Yeah.
music in general, not just a specific genre.
Yeah.
Like that's such a good advantage to have on
Yeah,
your
exactly.
side going in,
And he's young too. He's
Yeah.
like 21 or something like that. I don't know how old you are, but you know, we know you're young. Like there were nights where we won't do anything. We would start something and then we'll just be stuck.
Yeah.
And then we start talking about other music, and then my influences were like West Coast hip hop, and that's what I first started listening to. And then he'll start pulling up all these, because he's young, the age difference. So he would pull up like these, 2007, like them Franchise Boys and all this stuff like that, and he'd be like, yo, this is what I was loving. And then so I'll get it, like I see his influence as a producer, very southern influence. You can hear it in the drums too, in my stuff, and you can hear it in the hi-hats. So he that rubs off. But then there's some songs on the EP that you can hear like my influence and say, hey, make the keys like this, or make the drums a bit more like this type of bounce or whatever. So you see our music knowledge come together on that one, and then that's how we get the final product.
So cool. So cool. You've got keyed into a very very clever partnership. One, for sure. And you're obviously part of the Elephant Tracks family now, which is sick.
Yeah.
It's really kind of testament to this whole wave of hip hop that's coming through that is just refusing to be labelled or held in within any type of boundaries. There's obviously a conversation going around about what is Aussie hip hop now, which it's such a fluid term now.
Yeah.
But I suppose, what are you excited about the most in terms of being one of these new artists coming out and essentially having the opportunity to take that genre in different directions?
Yeah. I'm excited to be, I guess, a part of this like new wave of artists that are coming out from Australia in the hip hop genre. I didn't really think it was even for me personally. I didn't know it was a conversation that was being had until certain questions would come up, like, do you know this is sort of going on? I just kind of felt the best thing to do was just to be myself and tell my own story. That's probably the best way that I could differentiate myself from other acts. But there is this whole new wave coming through of that has to do with people's origin and background and also their different experiences. And I think we're now becoming more of an open market, like we're not so closed off from the rest of the world. We adopted hip hop, like everyone else did from the States, but we made it our own. But now we're sort of opening back up again to say we can compete, with the rest of the world and have the same standard. And I also think that it's important to give credit, because it's not just this new wave of, of people like myself doing this music, and then it's just like bubbling. I have to also give credit, or we have to give credit to also the Australian original hip hop pioneers, because they're the ones that have also shine some light, and said, hey, look at these guys, they're reinventing maybe, or not reinventing, but they're changing the way they approach, you know what I mean? Get behind these guys. There's a lot of maybe the Australian hip hop enthusiasts that say, nah, it's a bit too different, this is what we like, but they're getting behind it as well, saying, look, this is the way, and we have to say that's a big reason why a lot of it's being heard now as well. But the internet is a big factor too, and people's kind of not really caring too much anymore. You know what I mean? We just put out what we feel. For
sure, and I think it's an interesting time, because I think hip hop in this country has always resonated heavily with the younger demographic as well. And when we're in an age where the internet is so massive, social media fucking dominating everything, you've got a younger type of music fan who is possibly more impressionable than they were back when you and I were coming up. So being able to put this music out that not only you can have fun to it, you can do whatever to it, but it also has a message.
That's right.
It's a really smart way of using all those channels.
That's right. Yeah. The internet now it has played a big factor in everything. I think it's the best way, as well, people have changed the way they deliver the art now as well, even with the way they do the videos and stuff like that, and the way we now use the webcam to kind of we don't wait to do a song, not everyone has access to a song, so we just jump on a webcam, people and just deliver raps just to build a fan base, or to build an audience, keep it happening on a visual, so things like that. It's just it's just keeping I've even had to sort of grow and to learn about how the internet works in different ways as well. So I've just always thought, oh, I'll just do my music and people will see for what it is. But I realise now that you have to also back it up in other ways as well.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we've obviously been enjoying about your music is the fact that you've been able to release it on your own terms. That essence of the music hasn't been compromised by anything. It's still very very individual and very unique. And you've been able to build a fan base.
Yeah.
What, like, even before coming into a label fold.
Yeah,
so that's so sick.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think that was a big thing as well with us going and to partner out with Elephant Tracks as well. Was Tim Levinson, Earthboy, was very open to what I was doing, and he likes what I was already doing. And I don't think it was like they didn't want to change. They don't want to change the formula too much. It's just like just want to, I guess, add on to what I've already been doing. That seems to have been working, but like to put it to a bigger degree. But I guess that was important for me to just be able to still express, and it still is to this day, to be able to express myself and feel like I'm not compromising who I am to sort of be someone else, So I want to try and still do that. I'm always open to growth, and change. Like, so maybe there might be something in my sound, like from when I was making music in 2014 or whatever, 2013, it might have been a bit different. But I'm always open when, if a producer would tell me or someone in my team would tell me, say, maybe we should be a bit more open to this. I'm always open to ideas, but at the same time, it's like, as long as it feels genuine and authentic, I'm with it. Yeah.